Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home.
That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby. You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You're the blackest one in this room,
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border. And then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on American soil. So he became the anchor baby. You don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Hello, I'm the American Anchor Baby. Whoopsies. And this is my show. Pleasure to have you here on this fine Friday, everybody. Welcome. Happy Friday. Already, we made it to Friday. What a work week. You know, for those who started Thursday. But it's a pleasure to have you here. Welcome. We're in the chair. And that means you could call 888-775-3773. Getting started here after the Fallen State. I like it. I like it, okay? Thanks for joining. We're going to get into it here. 2025 already started out with a bang. Everyone's kind of already said it, you know. Oh, it's a little joke. Haha, bombs. Things are exploding. People are dying. What a mess. So I want to get into some things, okay? Reiterate some points. Have some fun. Friday chaos. We got links. We got videos. We got callers. 888-775-3773. Welcome. Very nice. So what else? A little bit of housekeeping. If I got to do a little housekeeping, okay? I'm on YouTube, American Anchor Baby, Punchy.tv. Oh, Lord. Punchy.tv/Anchor Baby. Rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. Twitch. Well, I'm not live on Twitch right now, but that's Gorgonzola. DLive.tv/Gorgonzola. That's X as well. All right. We're live. Welcome to the show. Boom. Okay. Very good. Okay, what else? What else here? Look, you can buymeacoffee.com/Anchor Baby. And we're rocking and rolling. 888-775-3773. Shall I begin here? I think it was South Korea. You know, I mentioned it yesterday. I want to bring South Korea back up. The Koreans, maybe it was the Korean zombie flicks. It's not even a flick. It's actually a show. I watched a season. I don't do this. I don't watch seasons. Maybe I'm missing out. But whatever. These Koreans, they got some flair. They got some style. I like them. They were doing a little. It felt like I haven't seen some zombie stuff in a while. I don't really watch stuff, but It hit. I was like, dang, I didn't know I had a zombie itch right there that needed to be scratched. You got these Koreans. What was it called? It's called We Are All Dead. And you got the Koreans, they're in school, and the chaos, it happens, you know. That's the part you love about the zombie stuff, right? It's like these little droplets of chaos. They're precipitating. One gets bit. You got a school full of zombies. It's going off. So maybe it was a little bit of the Korean stuff I was watching. Shout out to the Koreans. They're pretty gory. Okay, but look, we're talking about Korea. I mentioned them yesterday. I don't know if I was clear enough. I was showing you a map, right? I'm showing you North Korea, South Korea. I'm showing you, you know, some facts.
Lines that once linked North Korea with the South were blown up in a spectacular and symbolic display of aggression.
Them blowing up the roads to from north to South Korea. The inter-Korean roads were blown up.
Explosions seen in videos taken from the south side of the demarcation line triggered warning shots from South Korea's military. And strong condemnation from South Korea's government.
right? It's like, earlier last year.
North Korea appears to have demolished a major monument in the capital, Pyongyang, which symbolizes hope for unification with South Korea. Now, this comes days
H1B?
After the regime's supreme leader called South Korea a primary foe, and the peaceful reunification of the two Koreas was no longer possible. Now, in the latest sign of rising tensions on the peninsula, the Arch of Reunification, built in 2000, after a landmark inter-Korea summit, according to a report, satellite imagery of Pyongyang shows the monument has disappeared from its location.
So you get it. I was showing you some of these things. The conflict rising. We need Trump. But, I'm showing you some of this. Boom. Come on, come back. Pow. And it's like I ask you, I ask you, with this conflict rising, with this in mind, do you think for the South Koreans, in such an event, which I don't want to see and all that, but in such an event of an invasion or conflict with North Korea, how valuable do you think it would be to cry about what's fair for a moment? In such a situation, how much would it matter if South Koreans started clamoring, but this is South Korea. South Korea, this is our home. This is South Korea. It's for the South Koreans. I don't know if they would say such a thing, but I'm just trying to make a point. What would win, I ask you? That argument or a Type 68 rifle, which is a modification of AKM. It's the infantry rifle for the North Koreans, okay? 7.62 bullet. Like, you know what I mean? I know I'm being extra here because in America, we're not facing bullets. That's just not what's happening. There's not an invading force on our border that could be such a dire situation where we could make a decision about immigration over here. But I am just trying to point out it's not all nice. It's not all nice over here with the Native Americans. You know what I'm saying? Like, I showed you the fertility rate. I showed you the map, okay? And I'm not saying we're experts now. We just saw some map. We saw some map, colors, and it's got data behind it. I'm not, let's not poo-poo it too much, but they say the birth rate is what this map says. Statista and others. I showed you the birth rates. Now, is that enough to say something's wrong with the Native Americans? Asterisk. Like, I understand maybe the West isn't growing, but shrinking, dying away, that doesn't sound good. But okay, let's take a moment here to just think logically, maybe for a moment here. Maybe shrinking is not bad. Why is that necessarily bad? You can still have a life. Your government can still fight for the American worker and put him first, even if they may not be the number one economy in the world. I know I'm speaking maybe out of my arse here, but are you understanding me a little bit? I'm no economist, but follow me for a moment. Maybe shrinking is fine. But hold up. Even that under examination is interesting. You peel back the layers of what's going on, and what do you see? You see anger and strife in the homes, in the families, between the parents. They don't get along. The children are anxious and stressed. They're on medication. They have mental health issues, which is normal now, right? But when you peel back that, it's a spiritual malady. It's people believing memories and thoughts and giving names to demons and feelings. But maybe you don't believe that. Maybe that's too crazy for you. Look, I'm just trying to express to you that maybe something is wrong, okay? In the soul, in the heart of it, in the heart of you, the individual. Okay, so let me get to it. The real point is, I guess that's a warning against anger. Look, it's all angry victims who blame get conquered. And then there's no crying then. Okay, you could get mad at Vivek Ramaswamy all day and call him whatever. He doesn't care about America, is scammer, ethnocentrist. And maybe some of those things might be true. But none of that would change the reality. None of that would change this. None of that would change the reality. Before you call me a hater, I'm not saying I know everything about, for example, in this case, if this thing loads, for example, in this case, Muslims, like, they're not compatible with the West. Have you read the Quran? Like, I'm just saying, if America's not majority white, it's not the same place we grew up in, folks. Wake up, grow up. But I'm trying to show you this page here from New York Post. None of anything I just mentioned would change the reality that the top baby name, for example, one of them in New York City, just 2023. This is an article from just a few days ago. Mohammed, you remember that? Remember those articles from Europe? Mohammed is the first, it becomes the most popular baby name. For the first time ever, Mohammed was ranked as one of the top 10 most popular baby names in the Big Apple. So, you understand the reality I'm talking about here. How can I be serious if I'm making funny sound effects when I go big, small? I'm being super serial right now. So, but anyways, look, that's just a little bit. I want to reiterate that we're having some fun here. Maybe this is not so fun, but I wanted to make that point. I want to maybe mention some of this news here. We'll talk about some other stuff. There's fun things to do. 888-775-3773. So before you get mad and all that, blah, 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 you get it? None of that would change reality. Okay, that being said, I think there's a way to talk about this, a way to deal with all this, because I don't think you necessarily have to give up on the people here in America. That doesn't quite make sense to me. I don't think it's just, it's your fault. You deserve to have a baby, the Muhammad to be the one of the most popular baby names in New York. You deserve that, America. I don't like that vibe going around right now. You deserve that. It's like the soul is dead, but can you not leave the borders open? It's not helping. You know what I'm saying, kind of thing? That's kind of how I'm coming at it from. That's where I'm really coming at from. It's like, okay, the soul of America is dead, but can we do you got to leave the borders open? That's really not helping. You're really putting a lot of pressure on the scales here. And some of the things now coming out, now that they're having this fight about it, like I said yesterday, I think them talking about it has been good, I think. There's education going around. And if you ask me, being objective, just for a moment, without sides, without Elon Musk, Trump, I think that this H-1B stuff is a scam. We already went over the H-1B stuff yesterday, but I bring it up one more time because basically is essentially what it looks like. It's at this point, we essentially have Donald Trump supporting at least being at least showing a positive outlook to H-1B and all that, posting on Truth Social. Oh, pardon. Posting on Truth Social positive articles about supporting immigration visas. And so that's why I bring it back up. It's essentially where we are, sort of. Signaling at least he's on that, at least supportive of this. Which that's not even a totally fair characterization, because I really think he just wants, like he says, the best. We need the best and the brightest. We need work. And okay, when you get to that point of the conversation, I'm like, I think that's who Trump is. I think that's what he believes. And that makes sense to me. And now we've talked more about H-1B since, and I got to say, I think it's a scam. It seems to be a scam. Like, they're not even that smart. They're not even bringing that much money in. And you're telling me, it's like, okay, you're talking about engineering jobs, and it's like, whoa, all this crazy stuff. But you look at H-1B, and it's like gas station workers, accountants. You know what I mean? Like, we can't make account. Come on. They must really be. There's more factors than just the dampened soul of the American worker. The heck is this doing over here? Look at this curl. You see this? It's a wild curl. Uncontrollable on Chaos Friday. Even with the dampened soul, it's like, I bet you there's some incentives. Like, hey, maybe I'm talking out of my arse. To be fair, like, you understand, you guys know where the anchor baby's coming from. You know me a little bit, and I'm speaking frankly right now. So I want to show you this. This is going around. Bernie Sanders. They're saying he's out. They're saying Bernie Sanders recently made some comments about this H-1B, and so this video of him talking about H-1B years ago is going around. It's Fun Friday. Let's watch videos. How about we do it? Let's watch Bernie Sanders. And they're saying he's outflanking the Republican, the right wing, that they're outflanking the Trump team on this H-1B stuff. And, because they're saying they basically got it wrong. And they're appealing to Americans by saying, hey, no, they're wrong about this H-1B. It is a scam. So, I don't know. That's what they're calling it in the political world. And they outflanked. So listen to this.
And these are corporations whose main argument is, we just can't find Americans to do this work, and we just need to go all over the world to bring people in. If you listen to them, they will tell you two things. First, in terms of low-skilled jobs, they say they need foreign workers to do the jobs that Americans just won't do. And then, Madam President, this is what really gets me. They tell us that they need more H-1B visas because Americans are just not smart enough to be computer professionals, engineers, university professors. Just can't find anybody to be a university professor. Accountants, I guess Americans don't add very well. We can't do that work. Financial.
This guy's an anti-immigration, like, wacko, nut job, like, just expressing the change, I guess, in our own politics. When was this? I'll let this play, sorry. 18 years ago, we needed the time frame there.
Analysis. Nurses, I guess we just don't have the capability of producing nurses. Psychologists, Americans, I guess, can't do that. Lawyers. My God. If there's anything the United States is capable.
We should be in line. We got to get in line for the food.
Of producing our lawyers. But I guess we need more lawyers to come into this country as well, and elementary school teachers. Madam President, I guess the young people who graduate college in America are not quite qualified to be school teachers.
Anyways, I should just let it play, let the video play.
Now, Madam President, if Americans won't take low-skilled jobs that pay poverty-level wages, and presumably, if they're not smart enough to do high-skilled jobs, I think the question we have to ask is what kind of jobs are going to be available for the American people. We can't do low-skilled jobs. We can't do high-skilled jobs. Hey, what's there for us? And I happen to think that the Congress should be spending a lot more time discussing this issue and making it easier for us to create decent-paying jobs for American workers.
Chad, am I being charmed by the wiles of a socialist out there? Disgusting. I smell socialism. Be gone. No, come on. It doesn't all have to be that, right? Maybe I'm tripping. Look, tell me. Tell me. Am I being charmed by the song of a socialist? Can the American worker, like, not have to compete maybe with the world? Bernie is a nationalist socialist. That's funny. What else? What was I thinking about this? Bernie, I can't even say I know exactly on the minutia and the deets. So I'm being careful here. But it is of my opinion, from just some things I've seen, that it's seemingly a scam. It's seemingly a scam. You have to compete with these workers. They're not even that much better. And the claims behind it aren't even that true, that the Americans can't do the job. And then the thing that the thing that like gets left out is how much money they're saving with these people. So anyways, where was I going with this? We disappeared. Boom. I wanted to say that where was I? So Bernie Sanders, look, I think on Trump and all this, maybe you could call it what, unfortunate. I just disagree, and I can not get so into it because it wouldn't be fair for me personally to get so into it because I don't really know. It would be an ego thing. Like H-1B is totally a scam. It's like I haven't even done all that much reading. Come on, but so I've said what I said so far on this. Maybe you could call it unfortunate. Look, that's just how I personally feel. You do have a bunch of this. You'd have a bunch of people that are like, there's an effort to make people forget how Trump was. And he hasn't always been the lesser of two evils, but they made him into one of the puppets. He's just now one of the puppets he described at the 2016 RNC. And they're just apoplectic. And you know what? Maybe they have their grievance about however they feel about the country. And you know what I think about it is I just kind of let it be. But I can't go with the crowd. I don't know if you feel me on this. You may not even, it's not the crowd. They're the underdogs. They're being different from the crowd. They're not just blindly going MAGA. And there's an interesting conversation there. MAGA can be pretty blind, but I can't go with the crowd. Just bandwagoning like, he's a captured Zionist, whatever. I don't even know. As you've seen in these years, it's been a complicated fight, and there's really nobody out there that cares about the American. And in this case, I could say you. There's no one that really cares about you. Have you learned that yet? Even Trump. Like, Trump is like, I think he loves America and the people. It's like, he really is the guy, man. Like, there's a dying breed, an example in a very important moment. But even Trump, like, you're your world. What do you want another man? What are you putting all your faith in another man for? So, anyways, let's finish this off. Because, look, they're having the conversation. I think it's great. You got people like Elon. Would you call this relenting? Am I coping? Is Elon going to bring in the H-1Bs? And I really don't think I agree with that, folks. But hey, would you call this relenting? Am I coping? You say, no question, the H-1B system. You know, they're all tweeting like this now. They're saying something's got to change. And you don't get what you want if you don't say something. So, you know, you gotta say something, and hopefully your own side receives it. I think they're the listeners kind of people, and I'm the type of person we're going to let them do their job. And I'm working on me because there's nobody else doing it for me. Scams, H-1B, we're done with that. 888-775-3773. I wanted to zero in on something on this real quick and then move totally on. Well, actually, you know what? I think I'm off this. I've honestly said what I wanted to say. We're off this. We're moving on. Okay. The other news is the House vote. They're voting for the House Speaker. The Speaker of the House. The Master of the House. And it's a big old thing, right? I'm hearing Mike Johnson, House Speaker. Come on, Internet. Johnson wins dramatic vote to remain House Speaker. Could it be? You know, I heard Trump supported him. I don't know what y'all think about it. It's whatever. It's like, what's that speaker role? You know, isn't that speaker role, the whole point is a facilitator? Like, they need to operate. These speaker positions and all that, like, they need to be able to also. I see Trump as someone who wants, when he gets in, he needs things to roll. He needs things to roll. We can't be fighting about. Can't he totally bring the speaker in, like, once he's president? You know, when you had Mike Johnson as the speaker, but Biden was president, You had basically Republicans. You got to remember what it was like, because you had that row with Kevin McCarthy. You went like 15 votes. They were like, are you really like for America? Are you just going to be establishment? Release the tapes, the J6 stuff. Don't do something crazy. He ended up crossing the Freedom Caucus. They ousted him. Mike Johnson comes in. Is he really any better? But remember the stage. Trump, the Republicans were still kind of trying to basically have a Trump without Trump. They were trying to butt him out. They were trying to put in DeSantis. It was a mess, remember? But it was like a little fly. They tried, but everybody wants Trump. So remember that and compare it to Trump. Now when Trump is in, it's like, you don't think he can make Mike Johnson do what he wants? It's like, bro, now you have no chance. Now you have to kneel. But anyways, what else? The House, that's the story. Mike Johnson wins.
The American dream possible. We will fight hard for the freedom to vote.
What the? Hakeem Jeffries, New York minority leader. We love Hakeem Jeffries. He's been a source of some memes over the years. No.
The American dream possible. We will fight hard for the freedom to vote.
Bro, if you think that's immature and you don't laugh, then you're a loser. If you laugh at fart, you're a loser. If you don't laugh at fart, then you're a loser. Ghost torso baby. I know, I just noticed that. I'm basically an illusion. Did you know that? I'm a hologram. Fart, LOL, fart hard, folks. Let's go. He said fart. I'm basically a hologram. I don't know if you knew this. Who's Nick? Because it's like, I'm just a bunch of memories. I'm just a bunch of memories, and this is Hakeem Jeffries.
The American dream possible. We will fight hard for the freedom to vote.
How does that even happen? That's so funny. That's like, that's just like a movie. All right, that's the politic, and I think they're also going after Trump again. They want to indict him. He's like already president. Like what? The 20th. He's with us. You will take the reins. The 20th. They want to I'm hearing they want to indict. What? Instead of saying I'm hearing about it, I have the link here. I clicked on it. At least read it. Judge Merchan orders President-elect Donald Trump to be sentenced on January 10th in the New York hush money case. Yeah, they just chaos. They loving it. They want the chaos. Amazing. His career is finished. You know who else? There was a video I had seen. This is old. But who was it? 2004. You think it's not possible, but it in fact is. A single moment, a seemingly innocuous moment, like an awkward yell or sound, is in fact, it's enough to ruin a political career. Unsuccessful presidential candidate for the unsuccessful Democratic nominee for the 2004 presidential election, Howard Dean, and the Bia moment. You may have heard this, okay? I wasn't there for it, but I was educated.
You know something? If you had told us 1 year ago that we were going to come in third in Iowa, we would have given anything for that. And you know something? Not only are we going to New Hampshire, Tom Harkin, we're going to South Carolina and Oklahoma and Arizona and North Dakota and New Mexico. And we're going to California and Texas and New York. And we're going to South Dakota and Oregon and Washington and Michigan. And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House. Yeah!
I think he was even doing okay. I could be wrong. I heard he was maybe even doing okay, and it was over after this. And we're gonna take back. And I think a lot of people would say too, like, well, that's such a silly thing to end a career over. Hey, Trump would never. Let me tell you right now, Trump would never be caught doing such a thing. He wouldn't be caught on video doing such a thing. He knows what impressions are. He knows what it's not even that bad now that I look back at it. Some people in my chat are saying maybe, but I'm just saying before you think it's like, oh, that's silly. Well, people are silly. And Trump gets that, and that's why he's the legend. You will never catch Trump like that. Beta scream. Exactly. Beta scream. 888-775. I see calls. 888-775-3773. Appreciate the patience. Let me get to you. Anything else here? You know what? Let's get right to Robert out of Kansas, man. Thank you for your call. Hold on for me. Robert, Kansas, you're on the air.
Hey, Nick, you got me on the air?
How you doing, sir? Yes, on the air.
Oh, my God. Yeah, man. Hey, thanks for having me on the show, bro.
No problem.
You were talking about all sorts of topics, and I was just calling in about basically all of them.
Thanks, man. Happy New Year, sir.
Yeah, it's a happy 2025, huh? And we still got Jesse and you and Hake and everybody still together. So
thank you, man.
No, that's good, man. That's a good thing, and you guys doing your thing. And I hope that the whole network just expands out this next year. And you got to take over, Nick. You got to realize you're there for a reason. Yeah,
I was telling Jesse, we're really a couple of steps away from being a mega church. And I'm like, step one, you're not going to like it. Hooping and hollering. That's step one. No, but maybe that's not the kind of message we want to put out. But hey, man, your support is appreciated. I hear you, man. Thanks for that. Just keep doing my thing.
Yeah, Nick, y'all keep doing your thing and just support everybody. And I called in to talk about whatever, but I just don't really have. Yeah, I just don't really have nothing. I was just saying hi and wish.
Shout out, man. Thank you.
Yeah, wish all the mods and Hake and all the staff and Joel and I don't want to forget anybody, right? Everybody else who works up there.
Nice, man.
At Bowman.
Doug,
just want to say
Daniel,
and I appreciate it.
Yeah, let's go. Right on, man.
All right,
Bill.
All
right.
Bye, man.
Take care, sir. Amazing. 888-775-3773. Another callers, more callers coming in. I'm gonna get to you here. In fact, let's get to Mr. Pink out of California. Mr. Pink, man, Happy New Year. Welcome.
Happy New Year to you, brother.
Right on. You seen that before?
Yeah, of course. You remember the Dave Chappelle?
Is that related?
Yeah, Dave Chappelle did the impression of Howard Dean on his show.
I saw that way before anything, way before even getting politics or anything. But I definitely seen that Dave Chappelle. Yeah. So that was a recreation of that moment.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, definitely. Right on.
Dave Chappelle's like, yeah, he cooked himself in that moment. He went and lost to Kerry right after that.
Incredible.
That was when it was Kerry versus Bush in the middle of the Iraq War.
Wow. Thanks for that.
And I remember I was like a dumb high school guy and was like trying to be on the Democrat, dumb side because I didn't like Bush and the wars and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, this guy's cool. And then he went, and it was like, nope.
I don't blame you, man.
Yeah, man. That's just so funny that Dave Chappelle was like,
you cannot give that guy the nukes.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
It's like Dave Chappelle went, I'm going to wash up like, yeah.
yeah, Dave Chappelle.
Oh, God, that's so
Killer.
funny. I used to say that all the time in high school. I would just I would just walk up to people, just
You know, I heard that too, growing up, and I never put. I don't know what it is. It's just I never really put two and two together. It's just this funny sound, and I wasn't thinking politics, America even.
Yeah, for sure. It's just so funny when Chappelle would do those white guy impersonations.
Yeah,
and he'd have like the gray wig on, you know.
Right, he's all powdered up. He's in whiteface.
Yeah. You know the one where he also did the news anchor for the when black people got reparations.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, and the richest man on the planet Earth is now known as Tron from Martin's Project.
Yeah. Classic, man.
Anyway, yeah. Oh yeah. The world's kind of popping off real quick, right? You know,
it's been barely 3 days.
Yeah. I was watching old AJ over there talking about what the real specs are and what these guys are doing.
Which guys?
You know, the people that, you know, first dude rammed into the people in New Orleans.
Yeah. And the Cybertruck explosion guy. You know, there's like are you talking about the weird stuff?
Well, yeah. Well, it doesn't make sense.
The weird
of
details,
course, like everything. Yeah, it's like, okay, so they just like in 9/11, they found his IDs and stuff, and those are the only things not completely burnt up in the thing.
Wait, but was there a body recovered or no?
Yeah, but of course he was burnt to not.
And his identification, right? I heard this. The way they identified were his tattoos, and I'm hearing this from you. Burnt up documents, like the little documents that fell from the towers from the plane, and they found that they said, "Wow, these must be the terrorists."
Oh yeah. All the other people that were in the building, their passports not there though.
And I forget, but that's like a fact, right? That could be. Anyways, allegedly. Go on.
Exactly. Allegedly. But of course, I mean, these two guys were supposedly like special forces.
Okay.
Both of them were in the same kind of like super secret program, special forces operations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Both of them were supposedly really like top-notch soldiers, Trump people, like all day. They were patriots, and then with the Cybertruck guy, apparently he was just conversing with the members of his family, just fine, just hours before that.
I heard he was pro-Trump. That he loved the Cybertruck. He was excited. That I heard that he was found with a gunshot wound to his head.
Yeah, so this could have been some deep state shenanigans, buddy.
Okay, so I heard you out. I heard you out. I've heard some of the things you mentioned. Very interesting on some of the things you brought. I haven't heard. Fascinating, in fact. But here's the let me give you something here. You give me all these things. Let me give you one little thing that maybe that it's just easy to miss. But let me just put it in perspective a little bit, because there's weird things, man. Okay, I'm not gonna be a little guy that's like, whatever, man. CIA, there's nothing weird going on. Chill out.
Hey, I'm not saying I know one way or another.
I'm not saying you're saying anything's even happening. I'm just putting that out there. But let me give you something. A little factoid on our Cybertruck bomber. Where is it? Hold on. Daily Mail. And I'm waiting for it to load. Okay. Daily Mail. Let me just read the headline. Las Vegas Cybertruck bomber left wife after argument over infidelity just days before attack.
Okay.
Now help me out here. Help me lay out what I'm saying here. Like, why are you going, okay?
Well, it could be that he just snapped and his life was falling apart and then tripped out.
And it's like that's not that unlikely, right? That's actually pretty likely.
Yeah, possible.
You know what I mean? Like,
way or another,
we're talking about a man and his wife. Like, we're talking about love, baby. And you know how that fake love is. It's crazy. And you got people suiciding over
flip out, do this. Yeah, I mean, a woman can make you flip out and blow your Cybertruck up.
It's no game.
Trump Tower, the man you admire.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, sure.
Throw it all down the drain.
Yeah, just as possible that this top notch U.S. Army guy went and all of a sudden he joined ISIS randomly over the summer. Like,
right.
Like, I mean, sure, could be, or it could be some deep state shenanigans.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna
Like,
go
could
Occam's
be.
razor on this one. Least of resistance. But hey, I'm just playing around. I really don't know. And it's interesting stuff, man. It's like, why is the people like? It's like all of a sudden there's all this attack, there's all this stuff going on.
Right.
It's
The
like
timing is
conflict
what
and
is
war.
biggest.
They want our
The
attention.
timing.
Here's what gets me about it, and I'm sorry to steamroll over you, but I'm done.
You
It's
did.
like, here's what gets me. I guess to summarize, what gets me, it's that I like discrimination. You should be allowed to discriminate. I'm pro I love it. And it's fine, and it may even be useful. It may protect you even. It's clear that the Americans in their lack of discrimination may not exist. Their society is changing. So look, that being said, though, it's like I should discriminate, not someone tells me to discriminate. And so it's like I don't want to be too conspiratorial here, but it's like Islam, terror. It's like, I'm not saying they're not terrorists, but doesn't it feel like it's been a little bit of like, and when you're making characters in video games, you click on random character, and it like makes a random character. If someone's clicking the random character selection, with these mass killings, it's like, who's the killer now? Oh, some Muslim name, but with some Beaumont, Texas accent. You know what I mean? It's like random hair. Yeah. It's like, what is it going to be a lesbian dyke this time? Is it going to be, am I off base here? What do you think about what I'm saying? Like, I can admit even just my impressions, even that's just impressions. Yes. You got the shooters are the criminals. You got black people, you got the terror, whatever. I get it. Stats and all that. But what do you think about what I said there? It feels like it could come from anyone.
Yeah, it's always could come from anyone. There's never a situation where I put it past anybody to be like snapped out. Bro, I've seen them all. My time running on the streets, like the crazy homeless people yelling at nothing in the air, or of all stripes, all walks of life.
Yep.
I'll tell you, like there's never a dull moment, like. Especially living here in this city, and in LA, right? You see all of the types, right? It could be just anybody snap out at any given moment.
Yeah, man.
Right? The human brain is incredibly fragile. Psyche is incredibly fragile. Like you're right. Could be this guy was just.
I'm just saying, it's like if I'm going to discriminate against Muslims, I want to do it. And it's like, I think maybe that's fine. But I don't want the media showing me something, and now there's people who want to have whole wars with Muslim worlds, and it's like, you know what? No. I'm going to discriminate the Muslims on my own terms. Okay, not because of the news.
I see that, but I won't say it's all the religious people, right? It just tends that a lot of people who come from the background from that area of the world do have this mindset. They were raised like, how it's talked about with the Israel genocide or whatever. Mm-hmm. And they say, oh, we got to get rid of these people because they're raising their kids from day one to hate Jewish people. Right. Mm-hmm. So it's like, these people, like this specific group in this specific area of the world is raised to think and act a certain way. It's like, you got to go with the facts, but at the same time, it's not everybody, There are radical Christians. There are radical Jewish people. They're all the above. Like it could be anybody at any given moment. I'm not saying, you should just go back off of the gut instinct, like you said, on your own terms.
Right.
But go off the facts too. But the facts don't always say that it's just one group.
Right. It's just, that's what I mean. It's like my own, like whatever, as much as I can be on my own terms, but not because some agenda. It feels like there's agendas in the news that they want you to be afraid of this or that. So, I discriminate the Muslims, I think, on my own terms, not because
it's like this. If I'm walking down the street, and this like they say, oh well, people discriminate against black people all the time. Well, it's not just that. It's the culture thing. Like if I'm walking down the street and a black guy's walking behind me, I'm going to have a different perception if his pants are around his knees with his belt tied like tight and he's walking with like a crip walk, or if he's just like walking straight and normally with his shirt tucked in and like he has to go to the store or something. Like I'm gonna have a different kind of, you know, do I have to worry about this person going on in my head? You know?
Discrimination. I love it.
And that's on your own basis. It's not, shouldn't be off of like what any outside source is telling you. It's just a gut instinct thing.
Yeah, like your own perception as much as you can, right? There's people who want your attention, and your attention, American public's attention, is somewhat valuable, especially collectively. And so if you think of yourself as a collective, you start thinking like them, you start becoming a pawn. You become a useful idiot for someone else's plan, even if you agree on a fact like, hey, you know what, I don't really want all these Muslims here. You know, even if you agree on that, someone can still want your attention. And so I'm just leaving space from everything.
Well,
everything I'm seeing.
This is one thing I've definitely gotten from Jesse that works, is the not overreact thing.
Yeah.
All right, because after listening to him and knowing the things I know now and looking at the situation from an outside perspective, you're never going to catch me in one of these crowds holding up a sign, raging in the street like, this is wrong, must end now. Either way, either right or left. Like, I could totally agree with the crowd, like, say, January 6th. I could totally agree with what the crowd's motives are, what they're complaining about, but you're not going to catch me in the crowd fighting anybody or anything like that on the inside, because that is the overreaction. Like, you're never going to catch me like being the one with the megaphone out there, like, because that is not solving anything.
Nice, man. All right, Mr. Pink. Anything else you want to say before I move the wheels here?
Just Happy New Year. Glad everything's going. So you are on Fridays. Are you going to do the 4? Or are you going to?
I'm just going to be on. I'm going to keep it how it's going. Right after Joel, so noon Monday through Thursday. But at noon, it's the Fallen State on Friday. So I'll just go on right after the Fallen State. I'll still do all my other things.
Later.
All
you're
that
gonna
stuff.
Do VR? You're gonna do?
Just wait. All that will come back. It's in its due time within the proper place. But this show, this channel, this show, rocking and rolling hardcore, here in the chair, talking about the real things, Monday through Friday.
That's good.
But the other stuff is coming. Don't worry. We're going to be flying.
I bet you.
We're going to have a space where we can be full. Say again?
I feel like Jesse was like, you use your regular show back going now.
No. He lets me be myself. But a lot, actually. So I'm very thankful he's let me grow on my own here. But it's just, it just makes sense, man. I'm also not doing everything right now. I'm not being mama. We have more people here at Bond. That's amazing. It's really cool the people we got here, man. Everyone here. And so we got more people, so I'm not doing everything. I'm like hardcore focused on my thing, and it's amazing. So
cool.
So we get. I just want to keep the energy going. As soon as Joel done's, I'm no break. I'm there. I'm even thinking, and then Fridays after the Fallen State, just like I said.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Just to know. All right. Well, stay blessed, brother. You have a great day.
Call me again.
We'll see you next week.
Thank you. 888-775-3773. Let's see here. Let us see. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, chat. Appreciate it. Crip walking with pants at the knees is incredibly difficult. I was laughing at that too, Mr. Pink. He said that. He was like, if I see somebody crip walking with their pants around their knees, I'm like, whoa, I don't know if that's a thug. Actually, I don't think that's a rock and roll gangster. I don't know if that's your regular gangster. That's a rock and roll gangster. Rock and roll man. Shout out. But yeah, that's not a regular gangster. Okay, I think those are pants around his knees. What's going on? There's sagging, and then there's, you know what I mean? So, are you in West Hollywood? Press 1 in the chat or you're West Hollywood. All right, let's see. Let's move on. Let's see what else we got here. What else we got? I have. What shall we do? Spiritual guru. I found this amusing. A spiritual guru. Let us watch. Let's talk about this. What's up, cuz? Hey, Happy New Year. Where's that noise coming from? Spiritual guru emits ear-splitting screams as she's arrested for being drunk at Nashville airport. Wake up, I got an exciting video for you. You know, you're like, oh, what's he talking about? It's not even funny. Well, guess what? We got a yelling drunk person in this one. This one's for you. Spiritual guru. That's what caught my eye here. Thought it was amusing that you got a spiritual guru here. Self-styled spiritual guru Lauren Maten was taken into custody fighting and screaming over the incident on March 15th. Body cam and drama. Airport cops were initially called to reports that Lauren, 24, had failed to pay her bill at the 400 Degrees restaurant. Who runs out on a bill at an airport? You got to be, I don't know. I don't know what you're thinking there. A woman emitted piercing screams while being arrested. Newly released body cam shows the moment police approached her before all hell broke loose. The altercation began when she denied she had skipped out on her bill, aggressively demanded the return of her ID, and hijinks ensue. Let's watch. How about we watch? How about it? Lauren Y. Oops. Unmute. Spiritual gurus. Here's your spiritual guru.
Because you refused to pay over at 400 Degrees. So, can you go over there and make sure she did pay?
Oh, what the? Complicated business, folks.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know how to use this website.
Do you know where you're at?
Wow. I'm a boomer. Wow, I'm a boomer. What's going on here? It is Daily Mail's fault, okay? It's not my fault.
There's only one way to make the impossible
Oh, come on!
Because you refused to pay over at 400 Degrees. So, can you go over there and make sure she did pay? Yeah. Okay.
I did pay.
Okay. Do you know where you're at?
Like 30 seconds ago. I literally just paid.
Okay. Can I get your ID?
My iPhone back?
Not yet.
It's my iPhone.
What is it?
Come on, my ID.
Okay. Do you know where you are right now?
I'm at the airport.
Okay. Where are you going?
I'm going to...
Okay. You're going...
Yeah.
She seems a little intoxicated.
Come my ID back.
My partner has to run it.
What the is happening?
Ma'am, just relax.
What's going on?
Calm down.
Where's
Don't get active with the police.
It's
not a good...
ID. Please get back.
Oh.
Please. What am I doing wrong? Stop. What's happening?
You're under arrest.
For what?
Public intoxication.
Public intoxication. Dude, we're at the airport.
That's not allowed. Public intoxication, dude. We're at the airport, bro. Don't you know everybody's getting smashed? That's not true. Okay, maybe you do. Not everybody. But it's like, you get, if you're visibly drunk, you're not going to be allowed through those doors. Anybody know this? It's never happened to me. I've just watched a lot of, what's that show? Airline. Amazing show. You got a flight to make and you got a few drinks in you. It's amazing how people could flip when they got a few, when you tell them you can't get on that plane. And you're there early too, but you're visibly drunk. Even if you're just visibly drunk, they will not let you on the plane. It's just not allowed. So yeah, next time you go to the airport, you're on vacay, you're like, I've seen this on a show. Vacay, it's like, woo, like a couple drinks before our flight. Oh, there's an airport bar. They got bars here? Wow. It's like, Careful.
Show 18, check 18.
You instead get drinks on the plane, and you get, I guess you're allowed to do it there. But even there, you're not. Anyways, you get it. Look, here's our spiritual guru. Let's watch a little more.
Dude, what's going on? Stop. What do? For public intoxication, that's not even a thing. Everyone needs to check their phones right now. Please help. This is not happening.
Negative.
Sir. Please help me.
No way.
Help me.
No way. We got girl power. We got the sisterhood with the phone out. We got the ACLU on speed dial. We're filming. We got what do they call it? The audit. The cops are getting audited by the public. This is a citizen journalist. Is that what I'm seeing here, folks? Some passerby get involved here with their phone out. Like, what do you? I'm just making sure that everything's here, cool here, right? I think that's what I'm looking at, right? Am I wrong?
I'm not intoxicated right now.
You're coming with it.
I'm not intoxicated.
Let's go. Did she pay at 400 degrees? That's what I'm trying to find out right now.
You need to breathalyze me. Sir! You need to breathalyze me.
That's that spiritual guru.
Thank you. What's going on? I don't know what's going on. Everything needs to happen for a reason.
Maybe because you're drunk. I don't know what's happening. Room spinning. I'm not drunk, though.
Like intoxication is not even a thing in
What the?
Indiana. Everything needs to happen for a reason.
Oh, come on.
Intoxication is not even a thing in Indiana.
We're in Tennessee.
Oh, come on. This website really doesn't want you to use it. It wants you to be frustrated so that it wants you to fight hell so you could stay in hell so you could stay on their website, I guess. See, look at this. How is it that I clicked on something else?
Because you refused to pay.
We're almost done.
You need to breathalyze me.
Let's go. Did she pay at 400 degrees? That's what I'm trying to find out right now.
Is that the yell? Wait. We need the yell.
Thank you. What's going on? I don't know what's going on. Everything needs to happen for a reason. Public intoxication is not even a thing in Indiana.
We're in Tennessee.
Okay, Tennessee.
That's spiritual trauma, folks. You're feeling so much pain that you're like, there's no logical, like, it's not gonna help. But so I must yell. You gotta release your anger. I wonder what kind of spiritual advice she gives. You gotta release your anger. It's okay to have fear. It's okay that you're scared. I'm imagining the level of spiritual advice this spiritual guru gives in between her screams. It's okay to be angry sometimes. Everybody hurts. Everybody, has fear sometimes. It's not bad. It's not like, don't judge. You shouldn't judge because it's not like you're hurting. It's not like you're you're not hurting anyone. You're just expressing yourself. So it's not like you're going to hurt your life and with law enforcement. It's not like you're going to get yourself in trouble. So you get it, the spiritual guru. I mean, we're having a yuck. We're having a little bit of a laugh. And it's funny. She's publicly making a darn fool of herself. And this is her younger, I guess, her YouTube channel. Differences between religion and spirituality. What the heck is she talking about here? What? You ain't talking about nothing. What are you saying here? Differences between spirituality and religion.
Whatever else there is. I'm not very good with religion. Even though I did grow up in a Christian family.
Oh, look, she had long hair. She was cuter here. Long hair supremacy, if I might add.
I don't know. I feel like when you read it out of a book, it kind of tells you the truth about like how the universe was created, and a difference between the religion is that, or spirituality, my bad, is that you can like discover the truth on your own, I guess, and you can kind of like.
I guess you could just, the truth is like what you discover in the process of life, and you just got to live. Right on, Miss Lauren here. We're having a yuck, but I really do. It's just a silly little video, but I can't help but really drive this home. It really is true. Besides the laughing, I've come to see that it really is true. And this could maybe guide you. There's a lot of people. You're hearing advice. You're hearing so many things. There's a onslaught of information. Honestly, you can ignore a lot of it. I'm your curator, by the way. That's why you come watch me. I'm your curator. I have many things to curate for you, many things. In this onslaught of information, I take on as sacrifice. My body becomes a sacrifice. I take it, I filter it, I give you good things. But that aside, if you have fear, you are in hell. If you have anger, you are in hell. And anyone who tells you that's okay, they don't know what they're talking about. And that's it. If you have conflict and you got to make choices and decisions and you just have fear, you're in hell. That's hell. Okay? You know what I mean? Like decisions. Think about decisions. If you make decisions, you're in hell. Like think about deciding where to eat for a second. The classic trope. Man has to, where are we eating today? He can't, he's undecided. He's indecisive. And it's like, oh, what a turn off. He can't even decide where to eat. And it's like, you eat every day. All of a sudden, you don't know where to eat. That's because you're now trying to make a decision. And I notice decisions are a conflict. You eat every day. You don't have to decide that. All of a sudden, now you're thinking about what she's going to think about what you decide to eat. Is it, what do you want? Da-da-da. You see what I'm saying? Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. I'll discover that one this year, maybe. But it's like, if you have anger, you're in hell. If you have fear, you're in hell. So that's it. So let that guide you next time you listen to a spiritual guru, okay? Next time you got a spiritual guru telling you something, let that guide you a little bit. And maybe I'm wrong. You could test it. I don't know. Call me. Maybe we could talk about it. 888-775-3773. You know what just came up with a friend? This little verse. Who remembers this one? We're talking about a little Bible verse. I'm laughing because this is kind of one of those verses that you maybe hear in Sunday school, or you grow up, you hear it a lot. And it seems like, so it's like the golden rule, treat others, you hear it all the time, and it's probably true as heck, but I'm just saying, it's also lost meaning or something. And this one came up just the other day with a friend, turning the other cheek. Can we do this real quick? Sunday school. Can we do a little Sunday school real quick? I don't usually. Where is it? We were talking about fighting and stuff, and he was describing, just getting in conflicts in public with others. And he said that he felt persecuted in the public, and it was such and whatever, I'm hearing him out, and it's like, some of these people are crazy that he's describing. It's pretty interesting. But he said, he's like, I'm like persecuted like Jesus. And I'm like, wait, hold up. Didn't Jesus let people attack him? And he's like, wait, hold up. That's not true. And it's like, you know what? I'm going to make a point of pointing out the obvious. Because to me, it's one of those things that I heard growing up. It seems like, right, turn the other cheek. And if you ask me, obviously, I don't think that means let yourself be attacked. I don't think that's what he's saying, obviously. He's not saying let yourself be slapped, literally hurt. But can we agree on something at least? At the very least. Tell me where I'm wrong. at least Jesus was saying to let yourself be offended. Eh? Tell me where I'm wrong. Huh? Where am I crazy? Am I crazy? Hold up. Where did I put this? Am I crazy? At least. I bet you it's more. But I bet you it's more because Jesus was saying, do not resist evil. Where is it? Matthew 5:39. KJV. But I say unto you that ye resist not evil, but whosoever shall smite thee on thy right cheek, turn to him the other also. You know, I just thought it was interesting. Like, I feel like Jesus, man. Isn't that, tell me where I'm wrong, folks. It's at the least. Come on. At the least, it's you have to allow being offended. That's what he's saying there. If you feel like if there is something that can offend you, like allow it to happen. That's what he's saying. There's probably more, but come on, that's got to be at least close to the baseline, the minimum. That's probably a lot right there. He said, resist not evil. That's pretty major. What the heck? Resist not evil. To turn the other cheek is to dare them to do it again. Whoa. You know, it's funny reading in between the lines what you add to stuff that you read. I feel like that's a big one. You took a big step with that one, Baldman, I think. I feel like you added a lot to that. To turn the other cheek is to dare them to do it again. Muffer. What do you see what happens? Yeah. All right. So is that like Jesus? What do you think Jesus would be like? Do it again. You think I got this? You think this sword is decoration? Huh? You think all I did was heal ears? I cut him too. Peter, hold me back. Hold me back, Peter. Hold me back, Peter. What's up, Steven? Happy New Year. That's kind of beta. Hold me back, Peter. Anyways, what else? Spiritual guru, amazing. You know, I was able to talk with Mr. Pink there, so we can move on from the New Orleans thing. I was going to touch on it briefly just to mention that point on, it's like, have you noticed? Every time we start saying, you know, a new killing happens, we're like, who is it? Is it another, like, why is it some kid in school? Is it some thug, black guy? Like, what's going on? Who is it? Whoa. They hit us with a random, it's a college guy, college women, female heartthrob college guy, CEO, a female incel, femcel, a Columbine shooter supporter. It's like, you keep hitting the random button. It's like, what do you get? Oh, transgender. Everybody angry. And I know that's just like impressions, you know. It's like if you wanted to pull up the numbers, who's shooting people? Who's committing the mass shootings? Oh, okay. You got to go out of the schools for that one. You got to go to, I don't know, Chicago and stuff. Black people. What else here? Let's move on. New Orleans. Amazing. Happy Friday, everybody. Coming to a close on this Friday. What are you going to do this weekend? What are you going to work on? Let's get to what should we do now? Cybertruck weirdness. I got to talk about this. I got to talk with Mr. Pink about this briefly. But you know, it's like, look, there's weird things, man. I'm not gonna be here and say anything. Like FBI, the CIA, these people have a history of amazing things, okay? I'm going to leave that as an I don't know. But this whole thing where it's like his wife, there's a infidelity. You know, you get the quartering here, and he's breaking it down. He's like, okay, let's break it down. Cybertruck bomber supposedly loved Trump in America. Just had a baby. Loved the Cybertruck. No Tesla grudge. It's like, I need fingers for this. No Tesla grudge. Had the knowledge for a bomb to level Trump Tower and didn't. Used the 50 cal to end himself, leaving no dental records. And it's like, but also like his wife may have, like something weird happened with his wife, and we're talking infidelity. And let me see, do we have a picture of him? Now I'm judging. I'm trying to show you a picture and, like, I don't know, show you his smile and be like, what do you guys think, beta? Beta? Look, it's whatever. It's some of my thoughts on it. I think it's just as likely. And this other guy too, this guy over there in New Orleans. Multiple failed marriages. Did you see this? Multiple failed marriages. Isn't that always that's a little bit of a thread sometimes if you watch crime stuff. You know, you got a man or a woman with multiple, especially if they're all dead, a string of dead husbands or wives. It's, you know, I actually knew someone a little close to me, a little close to the family like that. He's a male individual. Maybe I shouldn't say too much, but he has a string of dead wives. Shout out FBI, whatever the FBI is in Canada. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I actually know somebody with a string of dead wives. I should probably stop. So where was I? Shamsuddin Jabbar, complicated love life, 3 ex-wives and more paramours. It's a dirty, dirty game. So I think it's just as likely. Torpedo your life. You're feeling bad about love life. It's making you feel bad about yourself. Who is the self? What is the self you're feeling bad about? Something doesn't work out. And you're like, nah, that's it. You read, apparently the Quran was left open on a verse. You call it verses for the Quran. On martyrdom, apparently, allegedly in the home of this man. You read that verse and it's, all right, yeah, okay, I'm running him over. It's a mess. I don't mean to be so glib. But anyways, you might find this interesting. Quartering does share a video alongside this after pointing all these, what he finds are interesting facts. They might be interesting. He says, watch this.
Today.
You might find this fascinating.
Are you the Oklahoma City bomber?
Maybe one of the benefits of me talking to you today is that you'll see that maybe not everything is true that you've heard about me.
On the morning of April 19th, 1995, a decorated Gulf War combat vet blew up the federal building in Oklahoma City using a truck bomb that he didn't build in a Ryder truck that he didn't rent with the help of a passenger who didn't exist. Having just gotten away with the largest act of terrorism on U.S. soil to date, the Fort Bragg-trained Special Forces Sheep Drip Dropout blended in with the crowd by making his getaway in a car without a license plate and was immediately pulled over. The ATF was the supposed target of the attack, but luckily all of their agents were out of the office that morning. Later that day, the president boldly declared,
"We will find the people who did this.
And
when we do, justice will be swift, certain, and severe."
Except for
John Doe number 2.
John Doe number 2.
John Doe number 2.
Who, according to the FBI, never existed. In McVeigh's unprecedented 3.5-week trial, the prosecution didn't show the CCTV footage of him and John Doe number 2 parking the Ryder truck. Didn't explain why 24 separate witnesses mass hallucinated the existence of John Doe number 2. Didn't explain why the government was testing truck bombs and the Army was storing Ryder trucks at Camp Gruber right before the bombing, and didn't talk to the FBI informants who blew the whistle on the plot. But they did collaborate with the CIA, and they did convict McVeigh as the lone wolf bomber and Terry Nichols as his bomb-constructing accomplice. Still, a bunch of crazy conspiracy theorists, including 300 bombing victims, insist on talking about facts and evidence.
You know what? This was connected to the tweet. I'll let it play. Not really too interested in this stuff. I don't know too much about it.
And refuse to simply believe what they've been told a million times by people in tailored suits with well-coiffed hair. They quote the U.S. Army Brigadier General and the FBI crime lab whistleblower and the inventor of the neutron bomb, who point out the physical impossibility that the Ryder truck bomb did the damage to the building, but that doesn't matter because if there were other bombs in the building that day, we would have heard about them.
The second explosive was found and defused. I think he said another bomb.
The Justice Department is reporting that a second explosive device has been found.
They then found a...
That's fascinating, that these news clips attached to it, you know. It's one thing to make claims, but, you know, if that's true, that they said, well, there's no more bombs. You got all the news clips saying, there's more bombs. Whatever. Again, conspiratorial. I don't know too much about it, but it's Chaos Friday. Let's let it play.
The third device, which was also larger than the first.
And I see another bomb truck going, so apparently they're going to try to get out that third bomb.
The FBI claims to have lost the footage showing 💂 and John Doe number 2 parking the truck in front of the Murrah building that morning, but that's understandable because the Bureau has a lot of important evidence to store. Terry Nichols insists the FBI was involved in the plot, but thankfully a judge has saved us the trouble of listening to him by preventing lawyers from deposing him. There was a bomb squad truck parked across the street 2 hours before the blast, but that just shows the authorities were prepared for anything. And
other documents obtained by 2020 show that someone called the Executive Secretariat's office at the Justice Department in Washington and said the Murrah building had been bombed. But this was 24 minutes before the blast.
But that just shows the public was unusually vigilant that morning. Also,
apparently, before the bombing, Governor Frank Keating's brother, Mark, had been working on a novel about a terrorist bombing in Oklahoma City. Stranger still, one of the characters in the novel was named Thomas McVeigh.
But that's probably just a coincidence. McVeigh wrote a letter to his sister.
I don't know, folks. You may have heard of Timothy McVeigh on the Hague Report. I'm moving on. Look, I'm not saying it's, look, my stuff. I gotta know. Bond Squad. But it's a movie. What I'm watching here. It looks like a movie. That was just attached to the quartering tweet we just read. Moving on here, look. Shall we talk about waffles? Maybe a moment. What else we got here? Because they raised the minimum wage. There's a little, cute little story here. You might find it interesting. What else? Are we done with Cybertruck weirdness? You know, one more thing. Apologies. There was one clip here. Very interesting. We're talking Allstate. These companies, man. And there's something I noticed with these corporations. You saw them. Changing their logos every Pride Month. Rainbow flags. NFL. Advertisements. It's everywhere. It's the support for these people who say they're so oppressed. They have the backing of the corporations, marketing, Hollywood, the government. And so you got them doing that in the Pride Month. They're pushing Pride season. They're going around. They're saying Black Lives Matter. They put out the black photo on Instagram. And now MAGA. Now it's MAGA. Now the big tech and Twitter is a right wing now, and it's like cool to be MAGA, and it's like Trump is actually cool now. It's sort of and now you got Elon in the right wing, and you actually, you know what? These Democrats and these liberals, you know what? They're actually saying, I'm actually I'm more of a maverick kind of liberal. I'm sensible, and these people left me, and now I'm MAGA. I'm trying to express to you just obviously how these corporations, they're blown, buffeted by the wind, and the government is like that. These people, these new guys that have come into these brand new Trump supporters, and it's awesome. At the same time, there's a lot of positive. I think there's been some positives, and it's an interesting thing that MAGA, that Trump can be the president for so many. So right on, right? I'm talking about the brand new conservatives, the right wing big tech guys. But even them, they're blown, buffeted by the winds. They see where the wind blows. They see So I just want to express that. And I got an example for you. You got Allstate. You know them. Insurance. In their year-end report for 2023, Allstate boasts about their dedication to DEI, having less white men in their company. And I've been showing you this. I've been showing you all this on the big C word, culture. Their culture, the people being brought in, they don't like white people. They're more than willing to get a leg over them to give it to their own people. That's how it is. Look, I'm just being straight up. Allstate making a statement here on this truck, New Orleans truck attack thing. I'm calling it a truck attack. A wild rabbit truck kills 15. This guy, 𝒔𝒊𝒂𝒎 or whatever. So check it out, Allstate. Let's just watch this.
Welcome to the Allstate Sugar Bowl. Wednesday, tragedy struck the New Orleans community.
Oh, my bad. So let me turn it up. I guess this was before that Sugar Bowl, the college football thing. The Sugar Bowl, they were worried. And in fact, tickets prices plummeted, I heard. After this New Orleans thing, you know, people are afraid. They don't want to go out there. I don't blame them. Go out to a crowd in public for this thing right after an attack like that. So that's what he's talking about.
Welcome to the Allstate Sugar Bowl. Wednesday, tragedy struck the New Orleans community. Our prayers are with the victims and their families. We also need to be stronger together by overcoming an addiction to divisiveness and negativity. Join Allstate working in local communities all across America to amplify the positive, increase trust, and accept people's imperfections and differences. Together, we win. Welcome.
What? You know, it's like,
to the
I know that truck just went through and all that, but you know what, guys? We got to stop with all this divisiveness, folks. Okay? You know, it's like, you got this 15, okay, they ran over 15 people and they killed them and their bodies are flying in the air. But you know what, guys? You guys got to cool it with all this divisiveness, okay? Not everybody's perfect. He's basically saying, he's like, the imperfections. What the heck did he just say? Imperfections.
And negativity.
It's just divisiveness and negativity, guys. Stop with your negativity.
Overcoming an addiction to divisiveness and negativity.
He's right, guys. Actually, you know what? To be fair, you are addicted to divisiveness and negativity. You are. Admit it. You love fighting. You get angry. And you even listen to Jesse, and you're like, "Oh man, I heard Jesse say, don't get angry. And I keep getting angry. I'm such a bad guy. I really don't want to be a bad guy." You love You are addicted to divisiveness. You really are. You are. He's actually right about this. You are addicted to divisiveness and negativity. You really are. Come on.
Overcoming an addiction to divisiveness and negativity. Join Allstate working in local communities all across America to amplify the positive, increase trust, and accept people's imperfections and differences.
They're not everybody's perfect, okay? Okay, some of us, we fib. Some of us have a few more cookies than we should. Some of us, get in a truck and we run over 15 people. Okay, but you got to stop with the divisiveness and the negativity. Okay? Not everybody's perfect. Jeez, Allstate. Anyways, Carver, thank you so much for the super chat and the support. A happy new year to you. I appreciate you calling me, man. Says, gotta get her on the fallen state. I like that. Lauren? Talking about Lauren? Spiritual guru? That's a fantastic idea. Let me make a note of that right now. Like, type a note I don't forget. Lauren, spiritual guru. Let's go. We got Kale Samogi, thank you for the super chat, says, how can they tell the difference between brain damaged folks and drunk folks? I wonder if any brain damaged people have been wrongfully arrested. I don't know. That's kind of interesting. I really don't know. They might be very similar, and it might not be fair. I wonder. Let's see here. What's up, Rumble? Thank you so much. Always so faithful over there on Rumble. Mildegrew. What's up, D Live? Aries 1, Kilo Alpha Tango. You guys are the best. Always supportive. Danimal. Danimal with the coffees. Buymeacoffee.com/anchorbaby. Beautiful. All right, y'all. What can I say? That's pretty much it. Why would I throw out this shirt, Alias? Is it because of the green screen? No, I kind of like it. I mean, maybe it's silly, but I'm definitely not throwing it out. I could use it still. Let's see here. We have anything else in the last few minutes of the show? That's pretty much everything. That's pretty much it. You know, I had Shroom Moms for you. Shroom Moms on a Friday. I didn't know that the suburban moms
Together,
we are getting high so much. And they're microdosing shrooms, according to some. And it makes them better parents. No, I didn't even throw out the sparkle blouse. This is true. But they're saying they insist it makes them better mothers. The new drug obsession amongst the wines and lines. As I say, but whatever, we don't really have the time. You know, she's talking about all her friends, all her suburban mom friends, microdosing, and then she gives some insight into how much it's happening. But anyways, this is over in England. So the moms are high. It's hard. It's so hard. Do you know how... I hate my kids. Do you know how hard it is to hate your children and then have to get through the day? Anyways. All right, folks. I hope you enjoyed the show. We squeezed every drop out of that. I don't have any more for you. We did the calls, the super chats, and everything. I'll be back Monday. Noon Monday. More shows. American Anchor Baby. The Bond Network. Rockin' and rollin' 2025. That's it for me today. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. The fun stuff on this channel will return. I promise. The planes, the VR. That's all. It's all going to have its nice home. It's all going to have its nice place. But here in the studio, we're doing serious work. And I'll be back Monday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. What are you doing this weekend? What are you working on? And rest up if you're resting. Work if you're working, And take care. Happy New Year from Chris. Thank you for the super chat. At the end of this, okay? So thank you, everybody. Take care. See y'all on Monday. See you Sunday. We got Sunday church. Don't miss it. With Jesse Lee Peterson and all that. Okay. What else here? All right, y'all. Have a good weekend. Take care. And I'll see you around. Peace.